Destiny Wrestling storyline, the DRC, we were fairly at the end of it, psychotic. We went from, not drug cartel, but like drug cartel people to the serial killer app. Again, if anybody ever wants to delve down the road of the DRC, there is our YouTube channel is Mr. Team Hardway, and there's going to be some things that, again, probably don't age as well in 15 years on those videos, but it still makes me chuckle in that sense. But that character of Josh Payne, he was technically, he was put in a shallow grave somewhere out in the West Mesa by my friends Dex and Johnny K. So at this time, Josh Payne, no, but I am working on probably someone who is a lot more me, and you knowing me as long as you do, I can rig any kind of situation, and if you have a problem during setup or need something fixed, give me some duct tape and zip ties and I can put it together.
Right.
So I'm actually working on a character which is very much that way, and until my actual copyright, not that I'm trying to be the uber businessman, in that sense, but now these days you gotta cover your ass or cover your gimmick in that sense. So I will eventually put out a couple vignettes here in the next couple weeks once I have my paperwork in line.
Oh, cool.
So,
all right, good to hear, man.
Yeah, for a newer character, but definitely more redneck me.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Shit. Have you ever worked outside the U.S.?
What was that?
Have you ever worked outside the country?
I have done a little bit right over the border for a quick one weekend, and never went back in that sense because, again, well, shit started getting hot with the cartel, and I just never decided to re-up my passport at that time. But that's as far as I have gone outside of the country. I've gone as far as Philadelphia, from up to like Utah, California, but I've never gone outside the country besides that.
All right. Hey, you're sounding muffled, by the way.
Oh, let me check. Sometimes on the other ear. Does that sound better?
Yes, sir. All right.
There we go.
All right, let's get into you a little bit. Where did you grow up?
I was born and lived the first 5 years of my life up in Denver, Colorado, and then my parents moved down here to Albuquerque, and then we moved out to the country a couple years after living here in New Mexico. So we moved out, I think, basically have lived on the same property now that I've bought it from my parents that have been going on, I guess, 25 years.
Wow.
So, but in that sense, basically born, raised here because I love green chili and red chili, and I mean, Colorado has legal weed, but they don't have good green and red chili, so I'll stay here.
Right. All right. What kind of kid were you growing up?
I was very respectful, definitely a class clown kind of guy, played all kinds of sports to that degree. I mean, I first started soccer, but one, I'm not that big into all that running, and I didn't really like people kicking balls at me, so I wasn't a good goalie to that degree. So baseball, football, all that kind of stuff, but just a country boy. But I was taught very heavily, yes sir, no sir. Have your manners, because again, either way, didn't want to get my ass whooped by my parents, kind of thing.
Right.
So I caused mischief, but enough to have fun, but never to get in trouble, I guess, with the law early on.
All right.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Did you get into fights at school?
I got into a handful, not a whole lot. A lot of times, again, I guess I was decent enough shit talking to somebody that it would, even though it got escalated, it drew enough attention that they usually got broke up in like school. Definitely after high school, I had my fair share of drunk party fights and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I'm a pretty just kind of want to have a fun time until you piss me off, and usually a lot of people just, I guess, leave me alone when I'm pissed off. So in some cases, I've had fights when needed to, but never tried to escalate it necessarily myself.
Okay. Are you a Star Wars or Star Trek fan?
I am more of a Star Wars fan in the sense when it comes to me. My dad really liked Star Trek, or at least that's what I remember. He had it on quite a bit. So I'm not really indifferent, but I do. I guess I like Darth Vader as a heel character to that degree more. So especially, I'm never going to learn. I guess obviously I'm more of a Star Wars fan because I can't even remember what the rigid guy's heads in Star Trek name is. So I don't know. I'm more of a horror fan.
All right. Do you have a family?
I do. I've got two young children. A girl, she's 4, almost 5, and got me completely wrapped around her finger.
Aww.
And I've got a stubborn, redheaded son, which is definitely probably plotting my own death.
Oh my God.
But I mean, he loves me. He loves me, but he definitely wants me out of the way.
Oh
He's like, you're getting between me and mom, man. I don't know. I don't like this. So, but I mean, they're both sweethearts, but they're daredevils with no fear. I built them a huge tree house out here. It's actually a 3-story tree house that I can walk in because screw that. And it was actually our original tree house when I was growing up. It was an old rickety thing, and if you had seen my carpentry as a kid, you would never hire me to build you anything. But luckily, years of being taught. I'll actually send you some photos of this thing, and once all this is cleared up, you got to come down and hang out. We can roast some shit over the campfire and play by the treehouse because it's for them, but I needed to be able to fit in it. So anybody Chad Thomas is 6'4", he can fit into it. So with ease. So yeah, man, it's a huge. Basically, I'm a sucker for my kids. I never necessarily wanted kids, especially early into my career. You know, you want to be on the road and all that stuff. But I mean, the second I laid eyes on my daughter, I was lost. You know, she
man.
And I've been a sucker for my kids ever since. Even though my son's a hard-headed SOB, man, I'm so proud of him. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Have you ever been arrested?
Yes, I have been arrested years back in my youth, before even being married. And luckily my lovely wife stuck with me and helped me. I unfortunately got a DUI. Had a couple beers, and a lady actually was speeding through a school zone and hit me. Wow. So, not saying, again, it's not necessarily her fault. I definitely had, I had 2 beers, in technically an hour. So I was, you know, I'm guilty that way. But I mean, she was speeding through a school zone and hit me on the ass end, and insurance purposes have told me that I'm not in the wrong, but the law has definitely told me I was in the wrong. Oh, wow. And granted, you shouldn't drink and drive. Either way, you know, in that sense. So that was, again, a learning curve in that sense. Don't go out to bars no more. I drink at home.
Right on. All right. What kind of music are you into?
Honestly, anything from Garth Brooks to Rob Zombie. I get into some death metal here and there. It's a mix of a lot of different genres. Really, just kind of whatever speaks to my heart. But a lot more lately, I like just deep, sad songs. I guess that I don't know. It's whatever the mood is at that time. But
I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you read?
I do. I enjoy a lot of Stephen King. Is really one of the few, non-biographical, because I read a lot more about, you know, war history, I guess, into that sense, or I've been into that, and just for a long time I got into reading serial killer documentaries, obviously trying to engulf myself for my own character and things that way. But yeah, I mean, but more I like to read, you know, autobiographies, things that way.
Yo, text me your email, bro. I'm gonna send you my book.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm gonna have to do that. You'll like. I guarantee it'll keep you entertained, bro.
Yeah.
What's okay? I asked this question because I actually have a picture of the last time me and you worked each other, and I have you in the ankle lock, and your fucking boot is like half the size. Is like you can almost not see my head. What size boot do you wear, dude?
13.
No, it's got to be. You
Yeah.
got a bigger
No,
size
I
boot
shit
than
you
that.
not. And my middle brother makes me feel like a midget. He actually has size 17.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he has size 17. From the age of 11 to 17, he matched his age to his shoe size. I feel so bad because my parents, that was back before the internet was huge, so my mom had to go to anywhere she could to find shoes, and she was looking on early internet, but she would find God bless Shaq. He had put his Payless run out, and so my brother had to get over, which he never had an issue of being embarrassed in his life, but he wore bright white and purple Shaq shoes for most of the time. Just whatever Shaq was putting out at Payless, that's basically what he could find. So, but yeah, no, he makes my foot seem small. But yeah, I swear, size 13.
Huh. Damn. All right. Let's get into politics.
I just like to make things look bigger for camera, bro.
Whatever. Politics and conspiracies. Who are you voting for?
I'm definitely not voting for Biden or Trump. It's really kind of the cards settle as we go in more. I like Trump, the fact that he does not fear whatever he says, but it's not the way I would say to run the country to that degree. I wasn't the biggest Obama fan, but at least he didn't make us look like an idiot or a sexist or anything that way. I know I've said my fair share of shitty things in the world, but I know I'm not running for president, and he probably should have known not to. Especially going into the COVID-19. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could run for years, but I'm not a Trump fan. That's the thing, though. I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I like my guns, I like my space, and I like my freedom.
Right. I'm a libertarian, Biden, bro. So that's pretty much like I'm a big Gary Johnson fan.
Oh, dude, I loved Gary, and I still do love Gary Johnson. I think he somewhat shot himself in his own foot, but I loved his antics, or his tactics of 30 minutes after you smoke, you're more likely to have a heart attack. I mean, he fell over on stage.
He fell over on the stage. That's right.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. This dude's riding his bike from Albuquerque all the way to Roswell for business meetings, or Santa Fe to wherever.
What?
He was a great dude. He was by far, to me, I would have to say the greatest governor. And I'm not the greatest politician, but he did awesome stuff for New Mexico, and he had good support from legalizing marijuana back when I was in high school. When I was in high school, he almost had it legalized, and then he kind of went off the deep end and said that cocaine and heroin should be legal too. So that really kind of gummed up everything. But at the same time, it shouldn't be illegal. You shouldn't go to jail because you've got a little coke on you. Not saying that that's the best thing, but if you're in your own home and you want to do whatever, and it does not affect my life, it does not affect your job, you're not breaking into my house or breaking one of the laws, I don't give a shit what you do on your land and all that, as long as you're not hurting your wife, kids, or whatever. If it's not hurting anybody else,
and that's a libertarian point of view.
Yeah, and that's in that sense. But again, I'm not giving up the guns that I have.
Right.
I lock them up and I keep my bullets away because I want my kids to know it. But my dad beat respect for arms into me, and you never point a gun at anybody and all that. Everything. He was a airborne ranger in Vietnam, and his dad was a Marine before him. In that sense, so it was just drilled in to them in that nature, and I got some of that hard-headed country boy from my dad, and no matter how much internet porn is out there, it won't change me.
All right.
Don't let my kids hear that, but my wife will hear that and she'll be like, yeah, clear your browser out.
Oh my God. What are your thoughts on Biden? You already told me about Trump. That was my next question, but you already told me about him.
On Biden, he doesn't seem sincere. I mean, in everything, if everything in professional wrestling has ever taught me something, is at least you can start reading, how people come off. Right. And maybe when he was running with Obama, he had a chance. I don't think he was a bad vice president. I just don't think this is the right time. I love a lot of the things